Hi, everyone, and welcome to One Mic Night, the podcast that brings you stories of artists and people on their journey, helping to guide, answer questions, and motivate you in life and business. Thank you all for joining me. We are in season 6, 18 years of One Mic Night, and I'm so happy, as I always am, to have you on this journey and meeting incredible people along the way to add some value to your life. And today is no exception. My guest today is a growth expert. He handles the marketing operations for Beila. Make sure I say that right. And his name is Alexander Grumazusecu. Please welcome him to One Mic Night. Welcome in.
That was awesome. Thank you. Nice, really good intro. Good pronunciation of my last name. As best as I've ever heard it from anyone that's not Eastern European.
There you go. See that? Well, thank you very much for spending some time here. Listen, I have questions.
I have answers.
Let's go. The first question, who is Alexander?
Oh, well, I'm just a man trying to do a thing. I'm a 33-year-old. Actually, tomorrow is my birthday, the 12th of April. So if anyone wants to know when this is recorded, it's on the 11th of April, 2025.
And now some birthday shouts. Listen, mine is on the 14th, so we're right there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Aries, happy birthday to you as well. Yeah, Aries.
Thank you.
Nice. So yeah, I'm turning 33. I've been working for since I was 18. I don't want to do the math on that because I'll just be depressed. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of go with the flow. I've changed a lot of jobs, trying to get as much experience as I could. Did all kinds of jobs. I worked in kitchen, like as a chef. I did corporate work. I did freelance work. I did as many things as I could probably do. And due to certain circumstances, I kind of landed here. I'm actually working for a different company, but the same investor. And he has this little project called Biela. And yeah, I'm trying to put the word out there because it's really cool.
Okay, I want to talk about that, but I want to know where did you grow up? Because I want to find out who you are and like how did this all come about? Where are you from?
Sure. I'm from Romania, born, raised, still living in, actually. I'm in Romania right now.
I love this. I love this connection through the internet and worldwide connection for a purpose.
Definitely.
What was life like in Romania growing up, and how did you get to the point where you are now
Well,
in AI?
God, life in Romania. I don't know. A lot of people think Romania and they think, I don't know, like rural houses and cows and that kind of stuff, peasantry, which is kind of, we are very agricultural in this country, but we have like the big cities. We have 2+ million people living in the capital, so it has quite an infrastructure. It's not as backwards as it was, but I came post-communism.
Mhm.
Communism was in '89. I was 1992, so I was right at the cusp of a big change. So yeah, I kind of got lucky. I kind of seen how people interacted during communism, so more community-based stuff, but actually interacted with technology all my life.
Mhm.
So I got the best of both worlds. So yeah, it's fun. It's I don't know, imagine kids in the 80s in the States.
Mhm.
Everybody goes out, everybody plays, it's a community. Nowadays, not so much, but back in the day, it was kind of cool. For me, anyway. Kids nowadays will not agree with me. They like their social medias and stuff, and I agree with them. It's fun.
Right.
But yeah, it was a different age.
Do you lose a little bit of the, humanity along with it? I mean, like, I think now, like you said, the kids today are more into the social media and more into the technology, which is fine because that's the way that the world is going. But there's also, a little bit of a loss that goes along with it, like the human connection. Um, but by the same token, something like technology also brings the world together. So it's kind of
Yeah,
like a
it's
double-edged sword, right?
yeah, it's kind of yeah, it kind
Yeah.
of yeah, head to head on that one.
Mhm.
Hmm, losing a bit of humanity. I mean, it's kind of hard to. I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm in Romania. Romania is still a bit old school like that. So here people still interact, still go out, still meet outside, still go to clubs, still go to,
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. So people still have a way of finding each other without social media, but globally, social media and like new media and all that kind of stuff brings people together. I don't know. I guess in some ways it could, or it's getting to the point where you lose a little bit of, you're out of touch with like the human side, the human aspect of socializing at least. But I don't know. People are evolving, in my opinion. I mean, I look at kids nowadays, like 2 years old, barely speak, but they know how to use a phone.
Right. Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
I couldn't either.
And
Right.
I looked at it. Well, back in the day, there were like brick phones, yay big, and just like lethal weapons. And for some people,
Right.
2 kilo to like what, 4 pounds of phone, 5 pounds of phone, and you had to lug that thing around. And I still looked at it like it was, wow, that's insane. How could you have a phone in your hand? And.
Right.
And I
So
was mesmerized by it. But nowadays, yeah, kids, being toddlers, just pick up the phone and they go on YouTube. Yeah, they don't know how to type because they don't know the language, but they can pick up on how to work a phone by like its instinct. So yeah, I think it's just evolution.
I think it's a great thing. And I think you just kind of sparked something. You touched a point. I think being someone of 30 years old or 30 plus years old, you've seen the evolution of what technology can do. So you know a world where there wasn't a cell phone or that type of technology, and now taking that and developing it into the future. Like you have more of a foresight of where this can go. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Oh, well, on my day to day, I do a bit of management for a company that we are developing a game, like a video game. It's a video game studio, indie stuff,
Mhm.
but that's one part of my day-to-day activity, and the other part is doing some marketing for this other company for AI. I have no clue as to how to code or how to build websites and whatnot, but with technology as it is now, it's kind of easy. It's not really difficult to get into the groove of it.
Right. Explain to people what coding is. I want to kind of start out from the beginning. What is
Yeah,
AI and
sure.
what is coding? Because the people
Well, two
listening,
different things.
right. Hmm.
Coding. I mean, every app on your phone, every website you go to, everything you interact, like even this meeting is online. It takes somebody to program a little application like Zoom or Skype or Google Meets or anything like that. Somebody has to build it. And since it's not a physical thing, you use code to build it. So you just write code. Let's say, well, how can I give a little example of coding? Uh, I don't know, person A wants to speak to person B, so, and it has to go through the internet, blah, blah, and you just kind of write that thing in many, 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 many layers. And then you have an application or you have a website or you have stuff like that. And it takes years upon years, and then some more years to actually get to the point where you can actually write that kind of code
Hmm.
and those kind of applications. And AI, well, there's two types of people in this world. Some people that embrace it, some people that fear it because they're gonna. Oh, what was that line in like South Park? They took our jobs. No, they're not gonna take your jobs. If you know how to program, you can just focus on AI programming and just making it better and whatnot. There's still gonna be need for people in coding because even AI is not going to be 100% guaranteed every time. So if you have any errors, any problems, somebody has to look into it.
Right.
But yeah, the AI is just a tool, like everything else, to make life easier and make it simpler for somebody like me who doesn't know how to code to get into it. Like if I want to build a website and make my own thing, I can just ask AI to do it for me, and it's going to make a basic layout. And then if you want to do like really in-depth stuff, it's a lot better to know coding, like to know how to code and make a website and how it works in the background. I'm learning a little bit, but yeah, I'm way behind.
Well, I mean, I think it's a step in the right direction because that's the way, as we said before, the way the world is moving. So
Mhm.
with job losses, the new jobs will be learning how to code. It'll be programming AI to do things. It'll be monitoring AI.
Yeah.
Because AI is not 100% correct. So someone has to monitor AI in order to make it work, right?
No, absolutely. Yeah. You always have to think of, yeah, sure. Maybe in 10, 15 years, there's not going to be a need for some kind of jobs. But again, in that time frame, you have to think new kids are learning AI in school now. In some countries, it's like in the curriculum.
Right.
Like China just introduced it, and I read somewhere online. Didn't confirm it yet, but if it's true, it's quite interesting. I mean, just putting AI as a course in school, that's really cool
Right. Yeah.
because you have to focus on the future kind of thing. Where is it going? What's it
Right.
doing? And you don't want to be behind. You want to go forward with technology. I mean, you can. I'm sure everybody thought the same back in the day with any kind of technology like computers. I'm sure
Even
people.
with the internet, even with the
Oh,
internet.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
How
yep.
how how people talk badly about the internet. Oh,
Hmm.
you're gonna rot your brain, and there's nothing to do there. And now there's careers in everything from like this podcasting. Who would have
Right.
thought podcasts, right? Like you had the radio. Why do you need to do this online?
Exactly.
Well, sure, but you have a visual element to it now.
Right.
You have
Absolutely.
editing. You have all kind of stuff that's easier and it's accessible to everybody. You
A-
don't have to know how to control every gadget in the like a radio station, audio stuff to make it work. No, it just works because, one click, somebody thought of it and made it easy for everybody.
Absolutely.
That's what
It's
AI tends to do, and I hope it's going to keep on going and make it quite easy.
I think you touched on something earlier that's good. It's the fear. It's the fear that people have of using it and like you said, taking jobs. Where do you see what's the possibility, in your opinion, of where, AI and coding can go? Because like you just said, you have kids in China now learning, this information,
Hmm.
and we're looking into the future. What's the possibility?
Oh
Because
God,
Mhm.
I can't even imagine. To be honest, like really, look at AI nowadays, like ChatGPT and like Bard. Well, no, what is it called? Gemini, Google Gemini. Now I got a beta invite when it was still called Bard, and I kind of tested that out, and it was cool. And in what was that like 2, 3 years ago, AI became quite prevalent for
Yeah.
everybody, easy to access. Look how advanced it got. Like I use it on my day-to-day activities to like manage some stuff and timetables and all kinds of Excel sheets and a lot of stuff that I just can't figure out sometimes. And like, especially with Excel, I don't know if you worked with it, at least a
Sure.
little bit. Yeah,
Can
there's
you can you explain, just like give people a brief idea of how you would do that?
Oh, sure. So I go on ChatGPT and I give it some information as in, I need a timesheet for somebody to calculate his work hours, get his pay, make sure. And I still double check afterwards, but just to have like an initial layout done. So I do payroll as well for the game like gaming company stuff.
Hmm.
So I kind of have to get things done because I'm alone. So I got to get them done quickly. So I just ask GPT to make some. I give it like an Excel sheet and with times and everybody how much they worked, all that stuff. And I say, hey, I need some pay slips, so I can have them ready on hand. It's just making my life easier. And then he just thinks about it for 5 seconds and then he gives me what I need. And it's like, wow, that would have taken me 2 hours to make.
Right.
And it does it like in 5 seconds. I'm like, okay, that sure, cool.
How important is that to business growth? That's
Oh, it's insanely good.
right.
And oh God, I can't imagine. Oh, I can't imagine because I have been in the workforce for at least 14, 15, God, many, many years. So, doing the type of work, especially like management and reports and whatnot, I know how long it takes to do them manually, and it takes a long time. Even with the tools provided, sometimes it just either they don't really work or they're slow or whatever. So yeah, it just cuts off a lot of idle time. Some people will like that idle time because they can, go make a coffee and take a little pause, which is still good. I mean, you can still do it, Nobody's gonna, oh my God, where have you been? The report has been done 5 minutes ago. How would they know?
Right.
It's your thing. You use the tool. It does, you don't have to tell anyone exactly how you do it. It's just as long as you get the job done. But this is again, this is depends on from company to company. I don't know if it would be that leisure, like you would have that kind of leisure time in corporations. But then again, corporations don't really use AI now. Still, they're still stuck in the same kind of old ways. But it's going to change in time. I'm sure they're going to adopt some new ways to make things easier and quicker because time is money and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And why wouldn't they?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Why
well,
wouldn't they?
yeah, but that's where you lose the human factor, right? You
True.
dehumanize things, and then you're like, well, you can work with a machine that can do things quickly. Why aren't you a machine as well? Well, I need a break, man.
You do lose a human factor, but there's certain, I think, certain positions in a business that would, the positive qualities would outweigh the negative. And that,
Oh yeah, definitely.
so,
As long as you have somebody like in like the bosses, managements and
management. Yeah.
project manager, and then you have the CTO and CEO and blah blah, the C-suite people, and if they understand that, hey, things are getting done quickly, don't try to push it because that's where mistakes come. Because okay, you can use AI, but like I said again, you have to double check it. Yeah, it
Right.
does the big stuff first, but you still have to double check it because maybe it's wrong. Maybe you didn't ask it the right thing and it
Right.
gave you something wrong. It's all about how you ask the AI as well.
Right.
It's not just, I don't know, I can't just throw it some, you know, Excel, PDF, whatever, what I use, and just let it figure it out. No, I need to ask it stuff. And if I'm not paying attention, I'm going to ask it the wrong thing because it doesn't know what to do with my file. Just a file for it. So yeah,
Absolutely.
don't as long as you don't get pushed too much and too hard, you're not going to make that many mistakes. If you have and you have more time to double check and triple check, depending on the gravity of your work. You know, if it's very important stuff, I say check it again, and then check it one more time for sanity check, and then check yourself.
Right. If I were a business owner or just as a layperson, where would I even
Hmm.
begin? Say I have no knowledge, I wouldn't know. Say I have like a small, I'm an entrepreneur and I have a
Okay.
small company and I want to help, like you said, do payroll or I want to increase my sales for a product that I have. Where would I
Hmm.
even begin? I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Well,
Would you
Google.
recommend? Hmm.
Google is your best friend first and foremost. It's
Hmm.
still the top search engine in the world, so you can find stuff. As long as you need, if you know what you need, because you need to know some stuff. I mean, sure, you do some payroll, right? You have your company, you're an entrepreneur, you have a few employees, and you have to pay them at the end of the month. How would you do that? What do I need? I need, hmm, a way to calculate income, a way to calculate whatever. And then I can Google, okay, what's the best, let's say we're talking about AI only, right?
Hmm.
Okay, I'll Google what's like the best AI to calculate this. What's the best AI that could help me with payroll? And there's like niche tools for this kind of stuff as well. Just like we have Biela for website development, app development, like coding stuff. There's ChatGPT that's like it's an all-rounder, but
Right.
there's like tools that are like trained to do one thing better.
Gotcha. Specialized tools.
Exactly. There are
Right.
like specialized tools everywhere. You can find them. You can like just Google them. A tool for video editing, a tool for video dubbing. I've used one recently to
Hmm.
dub some videos from English to Spanish, and they do lip syncing as well. I didn't even know that was a thing. I had to Google it, and I
Yeah.
found them. I was like, wow, okay, that's how far technology advanced.
Right. And
Like,
in along in that vein, why wouldn't you? Say I have a podcast. I'm actually working on that myself. I'm starting a One Mic Night podcast in Spanish and French. Why wouldn't I use those tools to increase my audience? Because what does
exactly,
that do? It brings more revenue to me as a business owner.
exactly.
Right.
No, definitely. So yeah, you can just I don't know, take your video and make, well, you have to pay for the one that dubs, but it's not very expensive. I mean,
Right.
it's way less expensive than hiring like a whole studio to do dubbing.
Exactly. Exactly.
And sometimes
And
if you have the right voice, it just uses your voice. I mean,
right.
it translates into Spanish with your
With
voice. And
your
I was like,
voice.
wow, okay, that's nuts.
Right.
That's crazy stuff.
And that's a beautiful thing because, like you said, you don't have to use a big studio, and what you get in revenue back, paying for a subscription to this, it far exceeds,
Exactly.
of you not having it at all. So
Yeah,
why
return on
would you?
investment is high. Return on investment is very high. Now,
Right.
I'm not saying don't use studios at all
Hmm.
because you need the bigger the business, the bigger the videos, the bigger the quality, the better whatever. Of course, you want to use those businesses. There's bigger businesses that are like made for that stuff. So, yeah, sure, they're going to do a better job, a more professional job. Once you have the budget, once you grow as a small business entrepreneur into a medium to large business entrepreneur, of course, you should use other companies as well because that's how you keep the economy going for everybody. You don't just try to use like the cheapest way or the simplest way.
Right.
You try to help the other guys as well because they know better. They do it better. And they have to compete with AI now. So of course their process is gonna improve and it's gonna be very professional. And they're gonna add some editing as well. And they're gonna offer this and this and this. And they're
Because they're the
competition.
experts. Right.
Yeah, competition brings what competition brews excellence, right? That's what
Right.
they say.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yep.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm good. I'm not. I'm a fan of competition in the tech space. That's why. That's how you don't have a monopoly. Just for one big company to do that, and they
Right.
do whatever they want. That's why monopolies are illegal, especially in the states.
Yeah, absolutely. In the States.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
I am a big fan of that.
Right.
Not no one company should just have control of one part of the workspace. So
What do
yeah,
you
I mean, sure, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. This is sort of off keel a little bit, but what are your thoughts right now with what's going on with the tariff wars around the world? We see, I know here in the States, I don't know if you keep up with the markets here, but our stock market has crashed
A little
based on
bit,
the
yeah.
tariffs. Yeah, based on the tariffs that are around the world. And a lot of companies, the big companies like Apple and Google
Mm-hmm.
and Amazon that are here in the United States, but are manufactured elsewhere, like Apple,
Mm-hmm.
the product. So now they're having to switch gears and figure out what they're going to do with the technology. And Tesla, which is not just a electric car company, it's also an AI company.
Yeah,
Like these people are having to shift their, resources.
I think it's good in a way. I mean, I mean, I can talk politics as well. I'm not
It's up to you.
like
Yeah, let's go. I mean, I'm just curious what your
I'm
thoughts
game.
are. You
I'm
can say
not
whatever you
down.
want to.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
say whatever you
I'm
want
good.
to.
I'm gonna talk a little bit because I'm not in the States, so I
Hmm.
can't really speak. But okay, for the American people, I think in time, again, in time, this is not a one day after the other, but I think in time is going to be a good thing. It brings more work to the States because if you produce and manufacture things in the United States, that means more jobs, that means a better, more stable economy. But again, that takes time. People have that instant gratification thing.
Right.
They
Yes.
want it now. They want it easy. They want it now. And yeah, I get it.
Is that in
But
Romania too, or is that just you feel like that's just here in the States? I know it's here in the States. The instant
well,
gratification. Just out of
it's
curiosity.
starting to be everywhere. And
Hmm.
sure, everyone in the world, it doesn't matter if it's Romania or a state that has had poverty, but us Romanians, we haven't had, especially people my age, haven't really had instant gratification ever.
Hmm.
Were hard. Things were hard to do. It was hard to live. It was a poor country. Nowadays, sure, we're doing pretty decent. We're starting to get on the level of everybody else in the European Union. And we're still like a ways away, but still we're getting there.
Hmm.
Things are easier. They're starting to be easy or easier, not easy. But I don't know. I like working for my stuff. I like pulling my weight. I like grinding. I'm still a fan of the grind. I'm not one to just be like, okay, I did one thing, so can I have $1 million as a compensation? No, man.
Right.
If somebody gave me $1 million, I wouldn't say no.
Right.
But I wouldn't think I earned it.
There's
So yeah, I
still
like
there's
earning my thing. I still like
yes.
to pull my weight so I can be like, okay, I got this thing because I earned it. I
Right.
worked my butt off and produced the result.
A deep work ethic. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
everybody
like
here
that.
has work ethic, and well, everybody in Eastern Europe, because it was the whole freaking place, Eastern and Central Europe, were kind of down the dumps for a long, long while.
Agreed. Agreed. And sadly, that's not what the American, viewpoint is because we've had it for so long, and this country is built on capitalism, and everybody wants that instant gratification. And you go out and buy, you want it here, you want it now, you want it fast, you want it quick, you want it, and I do want to make $1 million right away, and then I'm done. I could just go have fun, and you know,
I don't know,
that's kind of
man.
been the
Once you
mentality.
get into the yeah, but that's because people don't have $1 million. Once they make, let's say they actually work and make $1 million, then they want to make another
They
million. And the first
exactly
million is the hardest to make. You know what I mean?
right. Yep.
But once you get to that point, I made it 1 million. What am I done? Can I not make two?
Right.
Can I not make
Yep.
five? Can I not make 10?
More.
And that's how some people, I mean, sure, at some point it's just gluttony,
Yep.
you know?
Exactly. And I feel like
But
that's actually what's happening right now because our stock market has crashed. But I'm going to say this, I don't care, but I feel like, obviously it's being controlled by our president, and there are people who have the inside, like for instance, our market in the last couple of days. I'm in the stock market. But also, these people have the inside knowledge. They know what's going to happen. They go in, they buy. I just saw a clip yesterday. He was going around the room with all the people in the room saying, well, yeah, he made 900 million today, and he made 600 million, and he made 50 million. And these are all his buddies. These are all his
yeah,
buddies. They have the inside track on what's going on. So the rich are getting richer,
the poor are
we're
getting
getting
poorer.
poorer.
Well, it's a long game, my friend. It
Right.
really
It
is a
is.
long game. It's not You can't short the market. As
Right.
much as you want to short the market, just have one big trade. You know, that one big dream
Hmm.
trade
Hmm.
that just will explode and you'll make a lot of money and all. I mean, if you have already a lot of money, yeah, you're going to make a lot of money if you just grow 15%. You're going to make millions. 15% of,
Absolutely.
I don't know, a few million, sure, you get a nice chunk of change. But if you don't have it and you have to grind, you have to pay attention, you have to day trade, you have to night trade, you have to look and read up and try to follow and see where the leads are and see if you can find out what, I don't know, some government person invested in because it is public knowledge.
Right. It is. It is.
So,
But
especially
here's
like
the
in the
thing.
States, you have access to a lot of information that you don't know how to
You,
look at.
you do have access, but here's the thing. In the last couple of weeks, when the stock market crashed, you're dealing with people who have what we call the 401k. So that's their
Hmm.
long-term investment for,
Yeah,
retirement.
retirement. Yeah.
These are the people who are the mid-income or lower income, and they've just been letting it, grow. So when we
Hmm.
lose, say, for instance, I lost $20,000 last week.
Yeah.
But I'm at a level, I'm not a millionaire. So I don't have any extra money to put back in right now and swoop in and buy up. Yeah, he says everybody can just go in. It's a good time to buy. Well, guess what? What if you don't have that money? Because only the rich have the money right now to go in
Hmm.
and buy, these
No.
stocks.
No, well, see, this is the thing. Like I said, you can buy, I can buy, anybody, grandma can buy. It's just not a lot. She can't buy a lot. She can
Right.
buy a little.
Right. But
Again,
grandma
it's
won't
about the
buy.
greed. Yeah,
That's the
grandma
thing.
won't buy because
Grandma
grandma
won't
won't
buy.
trust. Grandma likes to have the money in the mattress.
Grandma won't know how to trade.
Sure, but you get a stockbroker, I guess. But I mean, grandma will never get a stockbroker because, well, I work for my money all my life.
Right.
Why would I put it in somebody else's hands that can lose it and blah, blah. And she's right.
Exactly. If
But
grandma's
the
lucky,
thing
she
is,
had a 401k. If
yeah,
not, she's
if
not
she has.
trading. Only
Well,
the people who are like our age, 35, 40. You lose $20,000. Maybe you still have a job and maybe you can
yeah.
put a little bit of money in if you think that way. But the rich go in and they can buy hundreds, dollars of Bitcoin and this and
Yeah, I mean, if you have that kind of money, I mean, I would invest. I would put it there and just leave it there
and
for
just
who
leave it
knows how
there.
long and forget about it. But the thing with the stock market is, or crypto market, or any kind of market, is people put too much in of their money. Like,
Mm,
don't put more than you're willing to lose.
absolutely. Rule number one, and
If you
risk
have money to
management.
burn, sure. If you
Yeah,
have money to burn, just throw it in there, throw in a risky something, and just see if it goes.
that's right.
But never invest more than you're willing to lose. If you have $100 that you're willing to lose, 1,000, two, five, whatever your income is, if you're willing to lose that 5K, sure, play with it. See what
Absolutely.
happens.
Right.
It's like gambling, kind of, but just you know,
You just said it.
more riskier. It's riskier than gambling
Right.
at some point. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays with how the dollar is and everybody, it is kind of gambling your
Right.
money away. But if you have some funds that you're willing to gamble, I mean, and you don't want to go to Vegas, just stay at home and gamble it.
Right.
But just do it responsibly. Don't
Absolutely.
put all your money in one little basket and
There is
then be
no
upset.
guarantee. No
Never,
guarantee. Right?
none whatsoever. There's nothing that can guarantee you a successful trade unless you have like insider trading. But guess what? That's illegal.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily from America, but I know a lot
You.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
The culture is well ingrained into me. I've been watching and following, and that's why I kind of sound American, and I don't sound like Count Dracula
All
or
right. I was gonna
because
say your
yeah,
English is pretty good. You have, very little accent there too. So
yeah. Some people think I'm Canadian. No, I'm
mm-hmm.
just Romanian. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I practiced a lot. I have friends in the States with whom I've been speaking for the last, I don't know, 10, 12 years, and I keep up with them. And it's either wow, it's great here, or oh my God, I need to get out. It's never in between, nothing in between. It's either really extreme on one side or really extreme on the other side. If I don't like something about the States, it's just that you cannot find a middle ground. It's either you have to be this or you have to be that.
Right. Exactly.
Didn't you guys invent debating?
We did. Absolutely
What
did.
happened,
I
my
have
friend?
no idea what happened.
You can't have a conversation about Jack
You can't.
squat.
Everyone's on guard all the time.
I
Yep.
mean, sure, not the voting thing. Sure, I know that's a very sacred thing for the
Mm-hmm.
American people, and that's fine. I'm not talking about voting. I'm just trying to talk about politics.
Yep.
I'm not liberal. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm not American, but I can see good sides and bad sides on
Absolutely.
all sides.
Absolutely. And that's the beautiful thing. And I have no problem talking about politics because I hope that if you're voting differently than I am, I want to learn. I want to talk to you because I want to see what your perspective is. Maybe you can teach me something I didn't know.
Yeah, and likewise,
And-
same on the other side.
right.
I've always done this in my whole life, hold conversations in contradiction with the person in front of you. And it's
Right.
not because I want to be a contradictarian and just try to fight with somebody. No, I just want to learn.
You
How
want
can
to
I learn
learn.
if I'm a yes man or you're a yes man? How can we ever learn anything new? If you're like,
Exactly.
oh yeah, sure, yeah, you're right. No, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm talking out of my butt. How do
That's
you know?
right. You got to be open and you got to be open to learn.
You got to fact
That's it.
check everything. You have to look it up and you have
Right.
to learn. And you have like see this little thing,
Huh.
this thing. This is like the you have all the information in the world in the palm of your hands. All you have to do is
Everything.
look it up.
Everything you
Look
need
it
is
up.
right there.
Yeah,
Everything. And this is the
absolutely.
same thing I say on the podcast too about watching the news. People, you have to watch different sources of news. You can't just watch one. You got to watch, like here I watch CNN, but I also watch Fox and I also watch the BBC World because I need to take all this information and process it myself and make my own decision.
Of course.
I'm not
And
just
then
going
you
to
can
listen to what one
do
person says. Yeah.
yeah, and then you can go and do some look up some independent
Hmm.
work. Is maybe I don't know, let's say the big networks are biased for one thing or the other, and then they just argue again. They don't really talk about it; they just argue about it.
That's
And then
right.
you watch some independent news and see what's up on that side, and see if they differ, and
Get
then
a
why do
different
they differ?
perspective. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you do your own little research and you Google stuff and you look it up and you find the websites and you see the pictures and you see if it's actually true. Find the whole interview, find the whole thing, not just snippets, not just this, not just that. Look at the whole thing.
The whole picture. Exactly.
The truth will always be somewhere in the middle. It won't
That's
be
right.
exactly as the BBC says, or as CNN says,
That's
or as
right.
Fox says. It's going to be somewhere in the middle.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Let me get
Everybody
back
has
to
their own agenda. Yeah, sure. Sorry.
that's okay.
Again,
No, no, this is great. I love this. I just want to get back to one thing. I just want to know how can we grow? What is growth for us, in business? How do we do it? If you were to tell someone these are the steps for growth, what would you say?
the same thing about investments. You're going to mess up. You're going to lose. You're going to lose some money. You're going to lose some funds. You're going to lose some friends. Be willing to lose that kind of stuff and learn from it. You're going to trip. Nobody does it perfectly in the beginning. No, no one. Not a one. I haven't heard of one success story that you're gonna be like, oh, I did it once, one and done, and it was great, and I made billions. Who? How? What magic man? How did you do it? No. Everybody will stumble. I mean, Bezos started selling books out of his garage.
Right.
Zuckerberg made his Facebook, but it exploded a few times before it launched, and he did it while he was in college in Harvard. Everybody's had their like garage story. Nobody started off rich unless you're like Trump and oh, I got a small loan of $1 million. That was a meme here in
Right.
Romania
That
for a
sure was, that was
while.
good. That was good.
That was funny. And $1 million when he got the loan, that was a lot of money.
Right.
But
Hilarious.
still, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, he worked. I mean, you can like him or dislike him, but he worked his butt off as well
Right.
for his money.
I'm not sure about
Love him
the
or hate him.
ethics, but yeah, he works
Love him
hard.
or hate him, he worked
Absolutely.
hard. And I'm
Absolutely.
sure that if you look deep down into everybody's business, no one was completely 100% ethical.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're
Bingo.
at that kind of level, you
Right.
know, somewhere up there, you're not going to be 100% ethical. Everybody dodges taxes, everybody dodges. And I mean, if the law is there that can help you do that, wouldn't you do that?
Of course.
Asking you
Everybody,
person to person, everybody would do that.
everybody does. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who really doesn't. I mean, I
Ah,
can
allegedly,
allegedly.
sir,
Okay.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
There you
Allegedly.
go.
Okay. We'll do
Don't.
that. We'll say that.
But yeah, no. If the system allows for the loopholes, you're going to use the loopholes.
Right.
There's nobody out of the goodness of their heart that's going to say, "Sure, I'm going to give you half of my thing." What? Why?
Yeah.
We live in a capitalist world, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
what kind of capitalist will ever give you half out of the
No,
goodness of
none.
his heart?
Right. People are doing things for the advantage of what their business is or their person is.
That's why
So,
tax write-offs exist.
right. There you
Just
go.
saying.
There you go. See, wow. Yeah, there you go. That's
Yeah,
it.
no, it's again, I'm well versed in the culture, and I've always paid attention to the states, and whatever guy you guys did at some point is going to reach us. So I'm just preparing myself.
Beautiful.
We
Let
follow the trend of the states. We've always followed the trend of the United States. So even if we're like a few years back, I'm looking at the states now. I see what's going on. I'm going to be like, okay, so that's going to happen in I don't know 2, 3, 5 years.
I think a lot of places around the world have followed the United States, and I think right now we're at a paradigm shift, and we'll see what happens in the future
I don't
because
know.
of
As
what's
long
happening.
as as long as the dollar is the backup currency for the world, we're gonna follow
Mhm.
suit. Once that changes, if that ever changes, I don't know how, or I don't see a possibility easily to
I
change
think
it. But
Japan just recently dropped it.
yeah, well, Japan has been
Well,
self-sufficient for a while, but their yen right now is down to dumps. I don't know if you've seen
yeah.
the parity of exchange. Oof.
Hmm. Hmm.
But again, it's not the first time, and things will bounce back and whatever. But things change. Things always change, but some things remain constant. The United States will always be the United States. I don't know if it's the greatest country, but I'm sure it's up there.
Yeah, I would agree.
You know,
I would agree.
you still have a few quirks to work within yourselves.
Hmm.
Like just work with each other if you want to get past that and become again the number one country in the world.
Hey, you want to run for president of the United States? I'm voting for you.
I can't.
You
Wasn't
tell
born there, my guy. Well, I wasn't born there. I cannot. What am I going to try to pull an Arnold and be like,
Right.
I want to be president. No,
Right.
I
I
can't do
love it.
that.
I like your politics. Listen, what else do you want us to know about your company and what's coming up in the future for you?
Well, my company. I don't know. I don't have a company. I just work for one. I work for
Yeah.
two.
Hmm.
I don't have my own thing yet, but who knows? If I use a little website builder Biela and I make one little website that works, maybe I'll have my own thing.
That's
I'm
right.
just I'm just not in the headspace of owning my thing and making the business. I hate the bureaucracy of it. I hate the
Hmm.
paperwork. I hate that kind of stuff. So I'd rather be an employee in a nice place and work hard and maybe I get a bonus. Maybe I just have a good life. Maybe I have my vacation days. Nobody's pushing me. I'm already white. Like my hair is white. I don't want to be whiter.
Right.
I mean, I'm the
Right.
whitest the whites look at me. I'm freaking, you know. But no, the thing that I'm promoting here is just I would love to just show it to everybody. It's just you just type a few words, it just builds a website. and it's just great. It's simple. I mean, I don't know if you do like sharing in presentations. I can do that. I have access to it. Not everybody does. And
Yeah.
on April 15th, it's going to launch
Okay.
in beta. It's still not complete. It's going to be beta. But yeah, it's I don't know. You if you want, I can show it up. I'll show it off.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
Right
great.
now? Let's see. I don't know how.
Sure.
I just
Oh,
hit the share
I can
button
click.
or what?
Yeah, I have to request it. There you go.
Beautiful.
All right. Can you see the
Mm-hmm.
website?
Yep, sure can.
All right. So this is the website. Just like any other AI tool is going to have like tokens and stuff. But if you share with other people and other people connect, then you can get some free tokens as well and some other rewards. And you can make like teams and like projects so you can work more than one person. But that's just marketing stuff. I want to show you the fun stuff, how it works. So let's say, let's build a website for a podcast host. For a podcast named, what is the exact name of your podcast, sir?
ONE
One
MIC
Mike
N
podcast.
I NITE. TE. Yep.
Oh, it's one Mike Knight and
One
Knight
Mac
is
Night podcast.
Nite.
Correct.
One Mike Knight. Do you have any favorite colors?
Black, gold, and red.
Perfect. Make the theme black, gold, and red. And that should do it. Let's see what it does. It's thinking about it. Come on. Don't be slow today. Again, it's in the experimental phase. And it
Oh,
started.
wow.
Yeah, and it's just gonna start coding the stuff and just work on it. We're
Okay.
gonna give it a
So
few moments.
for the people watching, just as we went back and I was asking what coding is, this is what coding is. It's the
Yeah,
words that are generated to um,
give
make, right.
hmm
Go ahead,
a
you tell them.
logic, make a logic for whatever you're doing. You just tell it, I want the name to be One Mike Night Podcast, and then it's just gonna do some other stuff. Yeah, boom. It's a lot of stuff that you need to learn. Like I said, this is years of learning that I don't have. I don't know. I mean, I can look at it and be like, okay, this is about this and this is about that, but I'm just like, I'm confused now. Yeah, it's gonna take a few minutes until it makes a whole website, obviously. But
Wow.
yeah, imagine not having to work with somebody. Do you know how to code? Do you know how to make a website?
I don't.
Okay, so you don't. So do you have your own website now for the One Mic Night?
I have one, but I need to redesign it because I've had it for a few years. One Mic
Hmm.
Night, as people here know, started out as an open mic years
Oh,
ago, a
really?
platform for artists. And then over the pandemic, I switched it into a virtual thing where I interview artists and people about business and politics and cultural things. So I give people a voice on the microphone.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really freaking cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I've watched a few of your podcasts. I didn't know the beginning, the origin story,
Mhm.
because I got your thing. What was it like? Less than a week ago, and I had a lot of work, and I haven't had the time, unfortunately, to my shame, to look up everything about the podcast that I have been invited on. I do apologize.
That's okay. Mm.
But yeah, I've been watching it. I've seen there's like so many different people talking about so many different things. It's really nice.
Yeah. I try to do art, culture, and wellness. I do a lot of stuff with mental health.
Hmm.
So I
That's
have
a
it
really deep topic right there.
really deep topics. And, it's for the betterment of the world.
Yeah, and
So
hopefully, this can also help in with somebody that wants to do a little business. Let's
absolutely
say they
will.
want to create their own little thing, and you want to redesign your website, right? Sure,
I do.
you can
Mhm.
just use something like this and just write, hey, I want this. I mean, I'm sure you've asked somebody to make a website for you, right? The last time you built it.
Right.
And were you happy from the beginning? Probably not. You wanted this change, you wanted that change, etc.
Mhm.
Well, with this little tool, you don't have to. You can just be like, well, once it's done, I'll actually show you. I should have asked for something simpler.
It's okay. And so you generate it from adding prompts. So say once it's finished and I say I don't like it like that, you add a different prompt to it.
Huh, wait, I think it found information about you in the About page because it said it
Hmm.
started in 2018. Is that correct?
No, it's been longer than that, but the podcast
Yeah,
started
the podcast.
in when did it start? Yeah, probably 2018.
Ha!
Yeah,
That's
no,
nice.
I'm Googleable. That's a thing. Yeah, I mean, I've done
Yeah,
quite a bit of
well,
work.
it did look you up and it found some stuff about you. In the about section, you're gonna have a little cliff note about the One Magnate podcast. I'm actually curious to see how it looks.
Yep, I'm an actor and filmmaker as well. So,
Yeah, I could see the little Oscar pose right there in the background.
ah,
Yeah, I
shout
get
out
you.
to Alvaro Art for this incredible
That looks really good
work of
as an art
art.
piece.
Yeah, he's a brilliant artist who does celebrity art, and he thank you. He made that of me, and it's been an inspiration. It's a daily inspiration for me.
That looks really cool, like
Yeah,
really detailed, and you can see it's handmade.
yeah.
And that makes it like a million times cooler than just a little print. Now, it's good to have like a good following and cool people watching and interacting with you. If I ever
It's good to have
get,
good guests that give such valuable information. Let me tell you,
hey,
this is right where we are.
as long as somebody finds it like interesting and they get some information, some value out of it, and I'm happy.
We
I don't
will.
want to. I'm not the type to just try to push something out like, oh, look at this. Not look, don't look at that. Look at this. I like having conversations and talking. Wow, you have been online for a while, sir.
Oh God, I just probably find all my social media and everything. But
Hopefully, come on, load up. I want a preview. Where is my preview? It has no preview, and I am upset that there's no preview. Of course, see, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, you have the code here, and it's all great. And it made a website. Let me go to the about section. Johnson, host and producer, from radio personality turned host with over 15 years of experience in broadcasting. Is this right?
that's not me. No,
Hmm.
15 years. Maybe some of the people that I've interviewed. That's
Oh,
probably it. Yeah, it's probably some of the people that I interviewed. There's so much information about me
yeah.
online, so it's probably pulling up everything.
No.
Well, how about that?
Did it do the thing? It did the thing. Ain't that something?
Wow.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, YouTube, and it hyperlinks as well to Apple Podcasts.
Look at
See, it still
this.
surprises me. Still, I mean,
Wow, man.
what's it been like? A few minutes,
Yeah,
episodes. Sure, it's not perfect
right.
because there's a few things missing, but still,
But just yeah, just the base of it is beautiful. I love it. Technology helps
yeah.
customer story.
Sorry, were you looking at the
Yeah,
episodes
that's
list?
great.
You want
Yeah,
me to go back?
beautiful. No, it's all beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's not you here.
Yeah, that's not me
It's
though.
somebody else. Well, it may have generated a few people. We're not supposed to use anything but the free
Eh,
libraries for, copyright purposes as well. I
mhm.
mean, if you have some stuff, you can add it. But what I want to do is show you something cool and see if I can do like this. I just cropped this part, the raw and unfiltered conversations. I want to
Mhm.
give it here to the AI, and I say I want a different font for this section only. And it's going to look at the page itself and see where that is and modify it. I didn't give it a lot of information, just I wanted to see if it's going to do it different. It shouldn't take too long. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, it's just you can just take little pieces of the website, like selected with like a selection tool, like when you take a little screenshot,
Mhm.
and you can just paste it in the chat and just say, "Hey, I want that different." You don't have to redo the whole website. I just want that one little part different.
I like this. Is this something that you built? You built the chat box coding?
No, no,
You
no.
did,
I'm just
okay.
a marketing guy.
Just a marketing guy. Okay, I
There's a
didn't know
team
if you built
behind
it.
it.
Okay.
No, there's a team behind it of people that are actually from a school in Dubai. So Teach Me Code is the mother company, and
Gotcha.
they actually give like have courses about UI UX design, Python, all that kind of stuff for people that want to learn. They have recorded courses as well and whatnot. And the person who has the school was like, "Hey, how about we bring something to the world as a school, as not just a company, but an institute of learning?"
This is
I've
beautiful. I
had
love
the
this.
I've had the privilege of going there last year, and I've
Hmm.
actually had a podcast there. This is here, right? What you see in the background was from when we were, and we had a little presentation of a project we did, with like a little boot camp. It was really fun.
Very
So yeah,
nice.
it's just let's redeploy, and once it's done, live app. Did it change it? Did it not change it? Hello. Mhm. And like as I was saying, change. Did it change? I don't know. Did it? I mean, it kept the same scheme, but I don't know if it changed the whole thing. Let me do a side by side. No, it didn't. Sadly, it did not. It kept the same kind of font. I think I should have just told it more about what I wanted to change. But still, like I said, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on what you do. And again, this is why you will never have a lack of need of like programmers to take a look over what the AI does.
Right.
Because AI would can only take you so far. You still need some kind of knowledge, but this just makes things easier.
Right.
And you have a base, once you have a base to start off with, you can just change the pictures, you can just change some stuff. You have access to your code, the whole thing, the whole
Hmm.
website. So you can save it. There's a little button to save the application, the website, everything. So you can just work on it in private. You don't have to do it online, but you have a base to start off with. You have your layout, you have your colors, you have everything you need. So yeah,
Gotcha.
that's
And
what
so once you
we
have this,
use.
I mean,
Hmm.
it generates the website itself, and then
Hmm.
you can change it.
Yeah.
As, okay, beautiful.
Yeah, I can
And what
change it
is,
even here. I mean, I can just type. I don't know if I go to the about. Let's refresh. Dun, dun, dun.
and so we would go to the website, Beila.dev,
Yeah, it's Biela.dev.
Beila.dev.
The website, if you go on it right now, it's Biela.dev. And it shows you right now beta launch in April 15th. Try for free, see AI in action, type some stuff, but it's more of register first.
Okay.
Once you register, you can have access to some goodies. You will have a book, digital book for free from the investor himself, who is also a programmer. Alexandro Cochindo is his name, and he has a lot of knowledge about AI and prompts, and that's exactly what the book is called. Prompt engineering, I think it is. And you can just look it up, look at it, and see how the AI works, how the logic works, and yeah, you can find some tips and tricks in there. And that's
Okay.
just free stuff after you register.
Beautiful. I love that. I'm gonna
Hmm.
register myself. I
Great.
love this.
Yeah, no, you can just again, you can use it or not, but if you have some kind of curiosity of how things work, it has a free little demo,
Hmm.
and you don't have to pay anything. It's a try before you buy. And it still does a lot of work. I think you have like 3 free prompts, and you can just make a nice long prompt and you can just build something.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
If you need a database, it has like a little button. Oh no, it did. There you go. It did change the font.
Oh,
It
yeah, it
just took
did.
a while
Right.
until and now it has the preview. Great. But yeah, it just took a little while. Again, this is in the experimental phase. It's not live. It's just in for testing, But this is pretty much how the final product will look. The website itself, the builder, the chat, everything.
Love it. I
So
love
yeah.
that.
So
Okay.
in my opinion, it's a really, really cool little tool that just kind of freaking works, and I am impressed with it every time I use it. And I've built quite a few websites to test it and stress it out and see where, do some testing. I'm good at testing. I'm not good at programming. So every time I test it, stuff and break stuff and I report it, people are not happy. So, but I'm not the one to fix them.
Wait,
I just
right.
say, hey, here's a problem. And they're like, oh no, why? What did you do? I don't know. But yeah, so yeah,
Beautiful.
this is
Okay.
the little platform that we have, and we're very proud of it. And it's just going to get better. Like every AI, it learns, it
Hmm.
adapts, it makes things quicker, easier for everybody. It will understand layman speech. I mean, I don't think I gave it any kind of tech savvy information. I just said, hey, can you build me a website for
Right.
One Mike Night and just use these colors, and that was it.
Okay. Well, I need a new website, so let's see what happens.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, you have editable code.
Hmm.
I can just type. I shouldn't because it will affect the website in real time. But yeah, if you know coding, you don't need to do much. You can just like change stuff here and put the information. Let's see. Like I said, in the about, you can change the names, blah blah, all that information, who you are, what you do. You can put your website here in the Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. You can just put your own links. So yeah,
Okay.
if you look at it, it's quite easy to understand.
Yeah,
We
it is.
have
I see.
the first host. This is all coding is.
Hmm.
The host, you put your name, what your role is, a little bio, and then, you can put a link to an image. In Twitter, you have .com and you say /1 Mike Knight. I don't know if you have a Twitter
I
account.
do. Yep.
Oh, and if is the handle one Mike Knight,
Yep.
great.
Everything one
Well,
Mike
that's
Knight.
the perfect. And Instagram as well, one
Yep.
Mike Knight. And LinkedIn. I don't know if you have LinkedIn.
I
It's
do.
more of a
One Mike
business.
Knight.
Okay, same. Nice. I'm glad you could get a handle of all those things.
I'm almost 20 years deep with one Mike Knight.
Damn, that's a lot of time.
I
And if you
snatched
don't
up
want to
everything.
co-host, yeah, and if you don't want to co-host, you can just remove this information because it's not relevant.
Hmm.
Boom. And then it should update once I save and preview about. And see, no more anyone else.
Gotcha.
But I can click on Twitter. It goes to the one Mike
There you
Knight.
go. Look at
Well, I'm
that.
not logged in, but still,
But yeah,
it just
beautiful.
works. I should just change the information here. But again, it's all in real time. You just go to code and you change stuff and it works.
Right.
You don't
Okay.
need a lot of information. You just have to read a little bit about it and you just kind of make sense what everything is. I mean, don't go in this kind of stuff here. I don't know what that stuff does. I know this is a form of coding in React code,
Hmm.
Tailwind, and all that kind of stuff. That's just more techie stuff that I don't touch. But the information itself is really simple to change. Yeah.
Okay. It's
So
beautiful.
this is our little toy here.
And then, so say for instance, once the website is done, after it generates the preview and everything, if I want that website, then what
No,
would
you
I
can
do? You
you can just
just
deploy
take
it.
deploy
Yeah,
it.
or you can just save the app itself.
Hmm.
Yeah, save saves the chat. You can just copy everything from here and put it in a little HTML file and like you put it in a notepad, like
Hmm.
and then you save it as HTML, and that's a website. You know,
Okay.
yeah, you can
So
just like
I would copy the code and then
yeah, you
save
can
it in.
copy the code, and there's gonna be a little button to like download everything so you can upload it somewhere else.
Gotcha.
We want to have like right now it's online, so if I go to deploy,
Hmm.
it's actually gonna put it online. So if I send you that link, you can actually access it yourself.
Okay.
So this here, 1744. Does the Zoom have a chat? I think it does, right?
Yeah, it does. Mhm.
Chat. Boom. That's a link. And that's a website. And you can click it. It's just not registered to a specific domain.
Okay, then you register it to a domain.
Yeah, and
Gotcha.
that's all
Take
that
a look.
there is to it. We want to have a one-click deploy with domains as well, but that's going to take a while. So you don't have to go through extra steps. You can just deploy it and then purchase a domain if you want your own domain, and that's it.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
All
fun
right.
stuff.
I love this.
Yeah,
This is
quick and
great.
easy.
Yeah. Well, Alexander, tell everybody how we can get in touch with you if we want to reach out
Oh
and
God,
or the
with me
business.
personally or
Well, I mean,
with the
whatever info you
business
want to
or
give. Biz, if you like.
God. Well, we have Instagram.
Hmm.
What else? I'm not logged into anything here. Mm. Oh gosh, sorry. I was not prepared for anyone asking where I can be found.
That's all right. We don't have to find out you. We can find out the
Yeah, well,
business information or you
Biela.dev
too.
is the
Okay.
business itself.
Okay.
No, I know, no. And just like I said, we're practically in our diapers. Not very many followers,
Okay.
but people are working hard, making videos, information. And yeah, you can find Biela.dev here. Or if uh, if anyone is a gamer, you can go to logics.studio and we're working on a little game of our own. No, thank you. Yeah, and this is our little thing with the game stuff.
There you go. Love it.
Yeah, still in our diapers here as well. We're working hard. We didn't work on marketing yet.
Hmm.
Just trying to get the game going, and yeah, once that's done, but yeah, you can usually can find me there. I'm in charge of at least this one in the Logic Studio. If anyone wants to message and ask stuff, I'm gonna be there at least.
All right. There you go. You know how to get in touch with him, everyone. Thank you very much. Let me try to say it again. Alexander Grumazusecu.
That's great.
Okay,
It was great,
I'm
man.
sorry.
No, it's all good. Seriously,
I tried. Please reach out to him and make sure you go to Beila.dev to find out more information. Everybody, this is One Mike Knight. Make sure you follow us at ONEMICNITE on all social media. I'm Marcos Luis, MARCOSLUIS. This is One Mike Knight. Thank you, and thank you, Alexander, for spending time with us because time is the most valuable thing you can give. So we appreciate it here.
It was an absolute pleasure, sir. It was
Thank
an
you.
absolute pleasure.
This is One Mike Knight, making international connections and giving you some value. Take it home. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.